right, so you were telling a story about being before the termite man came again.
Yeah, guess what? No termites in this house.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah. So anyway, I had my dad take me up to Cleveland to see this guy looking for guitar players for his band going to be on the road.
Mm-hmm. Big road.
Hit the big
on
road.
The big road.
And I try out for him. Play a little guitar. He plays me his songs, and it went all right, But on the way home, I was like, I just didn't feel right. Something didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. I thought I was going to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But something inside me said, this isn't right.
Yeah.
And I got so messed up to the
Did you get sick again?
At the point we got home, I get out of the car, ka-chink, just let it loose because I was so messed up about. I thought in my head, yes, but I thought in my heart,
in your gut,
in my gut,
obviously, yeah, because you,
my gut said, "You ain't gonna do this."
Yeah,
and I didn't do it. I didn't do it. That was one of the ones where it was the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But then there's ones where it's you do the right thing, like you said, you don't realize it at the time that you're doing something major.
Well, that's usually the way it always happens. When you're doing the good thing, you don't realize until
I'll tell you one of those.
Okay.
Back in 2007, I was graduating college, and a man named Jeremy Warren called me up and said, "Hey, you play bass? You got a bass guitar?" And I said, "Yeah, well, I got a bass. I don't really play." He's like, "Well, we need a bass player this Saturday. We need a bass player this Saturday. I'm playing with my boy Red Marlowe."
I remember these. That was back in the day
down in Alabama. I said, "I'll do it." I didn't know how to write.
Well, you missed one part. The first time I asked you to play was you turned us down.
I did because I was graduating. I think I was graduating like that week. But you called me a couple weeks later, a month later or something.
Yeah.
And I said, all right. But I had never played bass with a band. Not for anyone. Like I had poked around on a bass and I played a little guitar. So you gave me a list of 30 songs. Most of them were originals. And I went online and looked up how to write the number system, the Nashville number system, and I wrote everything out in numbers. And that's how I learned how to write numbers, how to use numbers, how to read numbers. And did all 30 songs, and 3 days later or so, playing on the back porch at a bar on the Tennessee-Alabama line. Yeah. And I remember playing, and I barely knew what I was doing, but all these people were just dancing and drinking. Yeah. And there was at one point a guy had a cutout of Jeff Gordon or somebody.
No, it was a Rusty Wallace, this old race car driver. Yeah.
The guy's got a cutout of Rusty Wallace, and he's dancing with it. Yeah. And he's got a beer in his hand.
I remember that.
And he sips a beer.
Yeah.
And he gives Rusty a little bit.
He gives Rusty a little swig, and he goes and spills everywhere. I remember that. That was awesome. I remember that.
I remember being there going, this is what I want to do.
This is
what I want to do.
Yeah, as silly as it was. And then I remember a few months later, because I had been out playing with this Christian rock band, and while that was going good, the money was horrible. And I knew this other guy who was in the old gospel group.
Yeah.
And he called me and said, hey, it was a quartet, and we're wanting to do more Statler Brothers, Oak Ridge Boys type of thing, and we want to get a country band and do more country than gospel. Would you want to do it? And they were going to pay me in a per show what I made in a week, which still wasn't very much.
No, it wasn't that much.
But the thing that got me was they said, well, we have a bus. And I was, at the time, riding around in a van. And then they said, do you know any bass players?
Woo, yeah, you do.
And I remember saying, yeah, I know one guy. Here's his information, and they were going to call you because I was on the road when I called you. I was out with the Christian rock band in the Silo Province. Yeah,
I was at Josh Quarles' house.
Yeah, and they were going to call you and invite you over to like their rehearsal.
Yeah,
either that day or the next day. And so I remember calling you.
You called me and said,
and I kind of told you what to say and do.
Yeah, you said he's going to call you. You tell him
this, that,
you make
and
this
that.
much a show, and you do this, and you do this, and you do that. He said, you tell him these things. And so that's what I told him when he called. And
we both got the gig.
Got the gig. within, well, gosh, it was probably a
That
month.
was the summer of 2007.
Yeah, within a month of my first ever gig playing bass guitar, I was on a tour bus
Yeah,
on
and
the,
we
on the
went-
road
and we
playing
went-
bass guitar.
A lot of places around that. We did that for 2 years.